Hi, I'm Commissioner Nancy Jester, and welcome to Nancy Jester Reports for Thursday, March 31st, 2016. This week we did not have a Board of Commissioners meeting because if we have 5 weeks in a month, we meet for 4 but not the 5th week. So we will resume our regular meetings next week, the first week of April. We will have a committee of the whole meeting on Tuesday, so I will report to you about what happens at that meeting as usual. But I do want to catch you up on some things that have happened this week. First, I want to thank everyone for the great turnout we had for the Stock the Pantry event for Fire Station 15. That's the fire station at the PDK Airport. We just had a great turnout from both Brookhaven and Chamblee to support that fire station and those firefighters. And it was great to visit with them and see the equipment out, and the kids had a great time. So thank you to both communities for helping. Also want to acknowledge that this past Tuesday, March 29th, was Vietnam Veterans Recognition Day. It's a special day in my family because my father is a veteran, and he's retired from the Army after a full service there, and of course he is a Vietnam veteran. And right behind me are some photos of his, and one of his green berets. I keep it in my office on the wall. It reminds me of service and sacrifice and being a professional. So thank you, Dad, and again thank you to all veterans, especially our Vietnam veterans. So please, if you have some in your family or in your community, make sure that this week you give them a special welcome home and thank you. Want to call your attention to a meeting we had today. Today we had a special called meeting of the ERCS committee, we call it. That's the Employee Relations and Community Service Committee. I'm on that committee. It is chaired by Commissioner Rader. And today we met as a committee and brought in 2 folks from the state, from the Department of Natural Resources, to talk about the emerging Wade Walker Park Library YMCA scandal that is happening here in DeKalb County. So you may recall that during this budgeting season, I voted no on this budget. And one of the things I sought to do was remove the funding for the Wade Walker Library because I felt that that was not a priority at the time when we have many, many needs that we need to address, like our molding fire stations where firefighters live. And many other issues. So I wanted to remove that funding and I wanted to build new fire stations and also improve compensation. That didn't happen, but that Wade Walker Library was funded in your budget. Well, it turns out that Wade Walker Park cannot be used for a library, and in fact the existence of the YMCA on the Wade Walker Library is in violation of the deed restrictions on that property. That property was bought using federal funds from the Land, Water, and Conservation Fund Act of 1961, and so there's deed restrictions that restrict that land to be used for outdoor recreation in perpetuity. And upon an inspection from the state, it was discovered that the YMCA was built on that, and that's in violation. So that has set off a series of events. Apparently that inspection happened last year, and the state sent a letter to DeKalb County, but that letter was never disclosed to the Board of Commissioners. So approximately a year ago, DeKalb County knew they were in violation of the federal and state laws regarding this park. But they chose not to inform part of the governing authority, the Board of Commissioners. And in fact, then the county, with administration folks that had to have known better, put the Wade Walker Library, essentially another violation, into the budget to be built on this site where you can't build buildings like that because you must maintain it for outdoor recreation use to be compliant with the law. So they wanted to compound a problem they knew existed and were keeping it from the commission. So this has since been disclosed now, and we're in a situation where 2 things are going on. Number one, we have got to make what we call a conversion request to the state and federal government, and we will have to use your tax dollars to go buy new land to replace the land that was removed from this site because a YMCA was built on it. So that's going to cost the taxpayers money that isn't in the budget right now, so that we can make that situation right with the state and federal governments. In addition, we've already lost grant money that we could have qualified for because we were deducted points from our grant application because we're in violation of these rules right now. And so there was a grant that we could have earned for a trail pathway on the South River. So that's in District 5. And we lost out on that because of this violation that remained undisclosed and unfixed. So it is absolutely completely unacceptable that the administration did not give this information to your Board of Commissioners. It is absolutely irresponsible to continue to pretend that a library can go on this site. And it is absolutely way past time when we need some serious solutions to be put on the table to deal with this problem so that we can clear it up with the federal and state government so we can be eligible for grant money again that benefits our communities, that would benefit District 5. So this is a real problem. People need to be held accountable for this mistake, and the administration needs to explain itself on why it chose to withhold this information and how it was that the YMCA was even built years ago, because they had to have known that there were deed restrictions on that site. So we're looking for answers. We had a meeting today. I think we understand the path forward, what we have to do now, which is we've got to go out and buy land to replace this land. But we have to get serious about where that's going to come from, what financial source that will come from, how we avoid this in the future, so that we know that all elected officials, all the folks that represent you, are given all the facts and all the information, and that not well thought out budget line items get shoved into your yearly budget. So we've got to go back and review these processes and procedures that even let this happen. So we're on the case here, wanted to give you this briefing about it, but this is going to continue to develop until DeKalb County gets its house in order. Thank you, and stay tuned for the next report on next Tuesday.